Aggregate planning is a company-wide approach to balancing demand, capacity, and resources over the medium term. It integrates multiple disciplines such as accounting, finance, marketing, operations, human resources, and purchasing. So decisions about cost, labor, inventory, and customer demand are aligned. Each function contributes specific information like cost data, demand forecast, workforce limits, and supplier capabilities. To create a realistic plan, the goal is to find the best compromise among cost efficiency, customer service, inventory levels, and stable workforce utilization. Through aggregate planning, firms can make coordinated decisions that support both short-term operations and long-term strategic objectives. The passage explains how companies like Whirlpool use aggregate planning to manage seasonal demand for products such as air conditioners. Whirlpool produces steadily during low demand months and builds an anticipation inventory, which is later sold during peak seasons like spring and summer. This strategy helps balance production costs, workforce stability, and capacity limits while meeting fluctuating customer demand. The aggregate plan serves as long-term time time-based guide that sets overall production, workforce, and inventory levels. From this aggregate plan, more detailed production and staffing plans are developed to support day-to-day operations and achieve company goals. The passage explains that the purpose of aggregate plans is to provide a broad, big picture guide that aligns a company's operations with its strategic goals. Instead of planning every product or service separately, firms aggregate items into product families to simplify planning and decisions making. Aggregation helps managers focus on overall production rates, labor needs, and capacity without getting overwhelmed by excessive detail. Labor can also be aggregate in flexible ways such as grouping workers with similar skills or assigning them across product families when possible. Overall aggregate planning helps companies efficiently balance demand, workforce, and resources while adapting to changes in the market. The page explains aggregate planning, which is how managers decide the best way to match workforce levels and production capacity with changing demand. In the automobile industry, companies like General Motors face in fact fluctuating demand and high labor costs, forcing them to balance overtime, temporary workers, and production slowdowns while avoiding strikes and excessive costs. The example shows that relying too much on overtime or layoffs can reduce productivity and increase long-term expenses. In delivery services like UPS and FedEx, demand peaks at certain times, so companies use a mix full-time and part-time workers to stay flexible and control costs. Overall, the lesson is that effective aggregate planning helps firms maintain productivity, manage labor efficiently, and remain competitive despite demand changes. The passage explains how aggregate planning fits within an organization's overall planning system and connects to other plans. The planning horizon is usually about 1 year and helps firms about frequent disruptions by adjusting production, inventory, and workforce levels gradually rather than daily. Aggregate planning links closely with the business or annual plan, which outlines financial goals, budgets, and expected performance for the near future. From these more detailed plans such as the master production schedule and workforce schedules are developed to guide day-to-day operations. Material Requirements Planning or MRP. is a system used to plan and control to the materials needed for production so that products can be made and delivered on time. It coordinates with key business functions such as accounting, finance, human resources management, information systems, marketing, and operations to ensure smooth workflow and decision making. MRP helps determine what material are needed, how much is required, and when they should be ordered or produced based on customer demand. By doing this, it reduces waste, avoids shortages, and improves efficient use of resources. Overall, MRP supports better planning, cost control, and reliable customer service for both manufacturers and service providers. Dependent demand refers to the demand for components or materials that is directly based on the demand for a finished product. For example, if a company plans to produce bicycle, the demand for parts like rims, frames, pedals, and handlebars depends on how many bicycles are needed, unlike independent demand which must be forecast such as customer demand for finished goods. Dependent demand can be calculated accurately using the product structure or bill of materials. Each finished product may require multiple components, so small changes in final demand can greatly affect component requirements. Understanding dependent demand helps organizations plan inventories, production schedules, and assembly operations more efficiently. The passage describes how Plasco, a small plastics manufacturer, used a material requirements planning system to reduce costs and improve customer service. Before MRP, the company struggled with poor tracking of labor, materials, inventory levels, and delivery times, leading to excess inventory and reliable schedules. After implementing MRP, Plasco could better plan production, better plan production, labor, and equipment, and ensure materials were available when needed. The system automated inventory replenish coordinated component requirements, and help managers prioritize orders and respond to quality problems. As a result, Lasco reduced raw material inventory, lowered labor requirements, improved reliable of deliveries, and became more competitive. The passage explains planning, lead time, and lot sizing rules used in material requirements planning. Planning lead time estimates how long it takes from placing an order to receiving or completing an item, including setup time, processing time, materials handling, and waiting time. Because actual shop conditions fluctuate, lead time estimates can be inaccurate, especially in jobs shops. While assembly line environments are more predictable, lot sizing rules determine when and how much to order, balancing inventory holding cost and setup or ordering cost. Common rules include fixed orders quantity, which orders a constant amount each time, and periodic order quantity, which places orders at fixed time intervals to better match demand. The passage explains how manufacturing resource planning expands basic MRP by integrating production planning with broader business functions such as finance, marketing, purchasing, and engineering. MRP2 allows managers to evaluate what if scenarios, measure performance, and then translate production plans into financial outcomes like cost, revenues, and cash flows. By linking operational plans with financial systems, it helps companies better coordinate resources, manage bottlenecks, and improve decision making accuracy. The text also describes how MRP concepts can be adapted for service organizations where capacity and resources and matter more than raw materials. In service, tools like the Bill of Resources replaced bills of materials, helping managers plan and utilize resources efficiently to deliver services effectively. The page introduces just in time systems as a management philosophy focused on eliminating waste and producing only what is needed when it is needed. It explained that successful JIT implementation requires coordination across many business functions, including accounting, engineering, finance, human resources, information systems, marketing, and operations. Each function must adjust its practices to support low inventory levels, smooth production flow, and high quality. The chapter's learning goals emphasize understanding JIT principles, continuous improvement, system design, and implementation challenges. Overall, JIT is presented as a company-wide discipline that improves efficiency, quality, and responsiveness by tightly integrating people, processes, and information. The passage explains the key characteristics of just-in-time systems which aim to reduce efficiency and unproductive time while continuously improving processes and product quality. JIT processes and product quality emphasizes smooth continuous material flow, small lot sizes, low inventories, flexible workers, and close supplier relationships. It compares push and pull systems using a fast food example, showing that push systems produce in advance based on forecasts, while pull systems produce only on in response to actual customer demand. The pull method minimizes inventory, reduces waste, and better matches production to real needed. The passage explains that just-in-time systems require consistently high quality because low inventories leave no buffer to absorb defects or errors. JIT relies on total quality management, statistical process control, and employee involvement to prevent defects rather than inspect them out later. An example shows how reducing lot sizes without improving quality only increase inventory, while empowering workers to monitor and correct processes led to stable. High yields management plays critical role by giving workers the authority and responsibility to stop production when problems occur, emphasizing prevention over correction. Overall, JIT succeeds when quality is built into every process, making reliability, accountability, and continuous improvements essential. The passage explains how just-in-time systems aim for uniform workstation loads to create smooth, predictable production flow. Uniform loading is achieved by producing a mixed model assembly where different product models are built in small, repeating sequences rather than in large batches. Using a Toyota example, the text shows how production cycles are calculated to meet daily demand while balancing workloads across stations. Smaller lot sizes reduce inventory and smooth demand on upstream processes but require short setup times and careful sequencing. The passage explains how just-in-time systems rely on standardized components and more work methods to increase repetition, simplify tasks, and improve productivity and quality. Standardization allows workers to perform tasks more efficiently and reduces complexity in production. It also highlights the importance of close supplier ties. Since JIT operates with very low inventory and requires frequent, reliable deliveries, companies reduce and localize their supplier base, share schedules and information, and involve supplier early in product design to prevent problems.